This video is presented by Fortune.
Well, just when you thought 2025 couldn't get any more 2025, along comes this. A black tie gala, hosted by Donald Trump. For whom, you ask? For the biggest buyers of his dollar Trump meme coin. Yes, you heard that right. A meme coin. Those volatile little digital nothings that your nephew keeps trying to explain. This event, held on May 22nd, was billed as the most exclusive invitation in the world, which frankly tells you more about their definition of world than exclusive. It's a world paved with digital tokens and apparently questionable dinner choices. But more on that later. Oh, so much more. The setting for this grand affair? The Trump National Golf Club in Potomac Falls, Virginia. Of course it was. Where else would you host a dinner for a coin named after yourself? It's all very on brand. Picture it, polished silverware, glistening chandeliers, and the faint, persistent smell of desperation. Or maybe that was just the perfume of crypto millionaires hoping their digital beans would sprout into a presidential audience. The sheer audacity of hosting a formal dinner for a meme coin is something to behold. It's like holding a state dinner for a Beanie Baby, only much, much more expensive, and with potentially worse food. This wasn't just any Thursday night, this was Thursday night. May 22nd, 2025, a date that will live in infamy, or at least in the slightly bewildered annals of financial history. The anticipation among the crypto faithful must have been immense. A chance to breathe the same air as the man whose face, probably, adorned their digital wallets. They had spent fortunes, actual fortunes, on these tokens. All for this moment. A moment that, as we'll see, was perhaps not quite the golden ticket they'd imagined. It was more like a very pricey raffle, where everyone got a party favor of buyer's remorse. So what was the point of it all? Was it a serious foray into the future of finance? A bold statement about the power of decentralized currency? Or was it, and hear me out, a spectacularly gaudy fundraising exercise dressed up in a tuxedo? The lines, much like the value of some of these coins, are incredibly blurry. They called it a gala, they called it exclusive. But at its heart, it was a transaction. A very, very expensive transaction for a fleeting moment in the Trumpian orbit. And boy did those attendees pay up. The bill was coming due, in more ways than one. Let's talk numbers, shall we? Because these numbers are truly staggering. 220 attendees. That's a decent-sized wedding, or a very crowded PTA meeting, but these weren't just any folks. These were the high rollers, the meme coin magnates. Together, they had collectively poured an astonishing $148 million into the dollar Trump token, just for the privilege of being there. $148 million. For dinner, and a brief hello. Let that amount sink in. You could buy a lot of, well, actual things with that kind of money, like a small island, or a lifetime supply of sensible shoes. Among the esteemed guests, a veritable who's who of the cryptosphere, and some others. You had your crypto influencers, presumably looking very influential, industry executives like Sandy Carter from Unstoppable Domains, whatever that is. Even former NBA star Lamar Odom was there. He praised Trump, which is nice. And, because this is the world we live in, he also took the opportunity to promote his own token, Dollar Odom. You simply have to admire the hustle. The guest list also featured one Justin Sun, a Chinese-born crypto mogul. Mr. Sun holds over $22 million in Dollar Trump. He also, and this is just a tiny detail, happens to be facing SEC fraud charges, which I'm sure made for some light dinner conversation. And then, the man of the hour, Donald J. Trump. He made his appearance. A brief one. How brief? According to attendee Nicholas Pinto, a 25-year-old crypto investor who presumably knows how to use a stopwatch, Trump was there for precisely 23 minutes. 23 minutes! That's less time than it takes to watch an episode of this show. He delivered a brief address, we're told, rehashing old crypto talking points. Groundbreaking stuff, I'm sure. The kind of insights you can only get after spending a small fortune on digital currency. Or, by reading a slightly old blog post. After his whirlwind 23-minute tour de force, he was gone. Whisked away on a helicopter. No pesky questions from the press. No lingering to take photos with the contest winners who had bought their way to the top. The top 25 wallets were promised a private reception, a guided tour. Did they get it? Mr. Pinto, our man on the inside, reported that Trump didn't talk to any of the 220 guests, maybe the top 25. So for the other 195 people who spent millions, away from a distance perhaps, if they were lucky, and quick, it was, in essence, the world's most expensive drive-by. Now, for the main course, or perhaps the lack thereof. Nicholas Pinto, who seems to have become the accidental food critic of this whole charade, had a succinct review of the catering. The food sucked. Yes, that's the direct quote. After shelling out amounts that could comfortably purchase a Michelin-starred restaurant, the culinary experience was apparently subpar. And the drinks? Guests were offered water, or Trump's wine. Mr. Pinto's water glass, he noted with a hint of understandable dismay, was filled only once. Once. The horror. Perhaps the budget for sustenance was diverted to the truly important things, like the at least 16 Richard Mille watches Pinto spotted, each worth more than a small car. The atmosphere inside this temple of tokenomics? Not exactly a bacchanalian crypto rave, it turns out. Pinto described the vibe as muted. Many attendees, he observed, didn't even hold the coin anymore. Imagine that. Sitting at a dinner you paid a fortune to attend, nervously checking your phone, not for urgent messages, but to see if the very meme coin that got you there was currently plummeting in value. That's not a party. That's an incredibly expensive, high-stress investment seminar with bad catering. Security was also reportedly lax after Trump's departure. Once the main attraction left, they didn't really worry about anything else. Comforting. And what happened to the star of the show, the Dollar Trump meme coin, after this glittering endorsement? Well, you might want to sit down for this. Or if you're a Dollar Trump holder, you might already be lying down. The price plunged by a hefty 16%. As of Friday morning, May 23rd, just hours after the gala concluded. It's the kind of plot twist that M. Night Shyamalan would reject for being too obvious. Spend millions to pump a coin. Watch it dump. It's a tale as old as, well, as old as meme coins, I suppose. For those still holding, their exclusive invitation now came with a side of significant financial regret. Meanwhile, outside the gilded gates of the Trump National Golf Club, not everyone was raising a glass of once-filled water. A crowd of about 100 protesters had gathered. Their signs read, "Crypto corruption," and "Trump is a traitor." Even Senator Jeff Merkley, a Democrat from Oregon, made an appearance. He was there to back a new piece of legislation, the End Crypto Corruption Act. The delicious irony. Inside, a celebration of crypto wealth, however fleeting. Outside, a condemnation of its perceived dangers and deceptions. It was a perfect snapshot of the crypto world, a party upstairs, and a whole lot of concern down on the street. The political reverberations from this meme coin dinner spread faster than news of a 16% price drop. Representative French Hill, a Republican from Arkansas who is, rather amusingly, leading negotiations on a bipartisan stablecoin regulation bill called the Genius Act, described the gala as a distraction. A distraction, you think? When the subject of your serious legislative efforts is hosting dinners for tokens named after himself, distraction might be putting it mildly. It's like trying to have a serious discussion about fire safety while someone juggles flaming torches in the room. The Genius Act itself is now reportedly at risk, partly due to a controversial rider about credit card late fees. Because, of course, this whole glittering, slightly greasy affair has also spurred new legislative zeal. On the very night of the dinner, a block of Senate Democrats announced they were pushing for a new provision. This provision would aim to ban presidents and senior officials from profiting off crypto ventures while in office. A rather pointed suggestion, wouldn't you say? It's a direct challenge to ventures like the Trump-linked stablecoin USD1. This isn't some small-time operation, by the way. World Liberty Financial, backed by the Trumps, is behind USD1, and Abu Dhabi's MGX investment fund has pledged a cool $2 billion in USD1 to Binance. That's billion with a B. The stakes are high. The White House naturally tried to put some distance between the official office and the meme coin moolah. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stated, "The president is attending it in his personal time. It is not a White House dinner," a fine distinction, I'm sure. Though it gets a bit fuzzy when you learn that roughly 80% of the dollar Trump token supply is controlled by the Trump Organization and its affiliates, or that a parallel token, WLFI, also linked to Trump, has sold $550 million in 2 token sales. It's all very personally lucrative perhaps. Meanwhile, the White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs remains bullish on stablecoin legislation despite, everything. So, what are we to make of this $148 million dinner party? A brief, expensive spectacle, a testament to the enduring power of hype, and a stark reminder of the Wild West nature of the crypto world. It's a place where fortunes are made and lost with dizzying speed, where exclusivity can be bought, but satisfaction is not guaranteed, and where politicians are increasingly forced to ask, what on earth do we do about all this? As concerns grow that political infighting over Trump's crypto ventures could derail actual regulation, one thing is clear. The need for clarity, for rules, for some semblance of order, has never been more apparent. Before the next big meme coin dinner ends with an even bigger hangover for everyone. Watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates.